Huge night ahead on the network.
Why?
Because we're doing regional hockey.
That's what it is.
Welcome to the Real Kyper and Bourne show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, a very pumped up Sammy McKee. Along for the ride, Derek Brandeo and
Frank the
Tank.
Baraska.
FTT.
Right?
That is awesome.
Baraska.
It's been
Frank
a
the
while
Tank
since
Baraska.
we've had him on the show.
Yep.
And we're excited. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in Jason Bukala. Have we had Jason on this year?
No books.
No books.
No
yet.
books.
First time.
Pro Hockey Group and Sportsnet, Puckpedia, and of course, best known as his wisdom brought him here, scouting, right?
This guy knows.
Former NHL pro scout, Florida Panthers especially. His fingerprints are still all over those Stanley Cups, are they not?
You know, there are some guys who leave an organization who deserve credit when a cup is won, and he deserves half a ring at least for some of the guys on that team.
And he has a piece up on sportsnet.ca too, because we were talking about McKenna and the Flames, and we're on in Calgary, and he was talking about who else may be a good in this draft coming up. So,
And he
there's
answered some questions.
yes, there you go.
Wherever you're watching and listening, Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. We're glad you're aboard. And when you can't reach us, look for us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, although some are telling me that it gets loaded really late.
On YouTube?
Yeah, so we have our wonderful people looking into that right now.
I just, like yesterday there was nobody at Leafs practice from here. Like I think, I love our show and I love the Leafs and I love, the coverage that we're just, rightfully so right now. We're not the priority.
We've pushed some chips in on the World Series over here. We've allocated
I
some
went down to the
resources.
Dome yesterday and bought a World Series hat.
Hey!
It's time, baby.
Yeah.
It's time.
There are people out there, not everybody
Who don't care about
loves, baseball in general, and they want their hockey, though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
There are still a few out there.
I've heard from those people.
We're not three of them, but they're out there,
No.
right?
No, we're not three of them.
Good hockey watching night last night, though.
Busy.
Really
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
hockey watching night.
Let's start off with Montreal and Edmonton, because there is a sense out of Montreal that they got screwed last night by the officials.
There is that sense out of Montreal. I'm not sure. Do you guys think, what did you think of the call on Josh Anderson, the unsportsmanlike?
Well, you can't, I've watched 100 replays trying to and I haven't seen a definitive, what really was,
So he shot the puck down
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ice,
yeah.
but then he skated the ref, tapping his
Yeah.
stick on there. He's like, way to go, ref.
Yeah, yeah.
He gave him a free one.
Before we
Is
get
it
into it,
sportsmanlike? No. Is it a
Before-
penalty? Also no.
before we get into it, let's go to Cole Caulfield, who had a few choice words about the officiating after the game. Let's start there.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I think refs kind of took over the game there, and kudos to them for winning it.
Ooh, sassy.
Ooh.
Is that a fine?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you want to hear? I thought Brendan Gallagher was great too on it. I listened to all of them, but this was my other favorite clip from it. If we could listen to that Gallagher clip, please, Frank.
It wasn't clear, though, what the penalty on Josh was.
It was unsportsmanlike. He felt he showed him up. He didn't. I mean, the fact that you don't know what it is, goes to show. Being an official is obviously you have to understand the temperatures of the game, and that's part of it. You have to control it. And, especially when it's a close game. We were outplaying them. We're out shooting them. They're getting more power plays than us. We feel like we deserve some. We didn't get them. Fine. We're battling. We're playing for it. It just seems like it's the same story. They're really good players. They don't need the help.
I actually really like that comment.
I've always hated how much I like Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those guys in the other team where I just would love to hate him, but I just can't say I do.
Yeah.
He's a battler.
Okay.
Cares.
This is where I want to take this. Before we focus in on that particular incident with Josh Anderson, I want to take a bigger look at this from high above 60,000 feet here.
Okay.
Do we have a problem between the players and the referees on sportsman likes, or like, is there anything going on there, or is the relationship been pretty good between players and officials?
I think the relationship is very good.
Okay.
I mean, unless you
Yeah,
have
no,
some
I don't see
reason to think
a
otherwise.
real big problem here. I know there's some in Montreal today calling for an investigation into the officials' call last night. Like, there, in no world of mine does there need to be any type of investigation, and if there is, then there better be more samples than that last night.
Well, sorry
Do
to
they think they're hard done by?
burst the bubble in Montreal, but there's been bad calls in hockey for 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you think it's a bad call, maybe it'd be a bad call, but I don't think it warrants an investigation because your team got screwed.
No. Yeah, like, listen, Montreal has squeezed every point out of this season they could. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, cool.
You know, they last-second goals against Chicago, OT winners. They've been squeezing points out of things. Last night they got an unfortunate break or two, and I think that happens in games and series, and you got to overcome them. They didn't kill the penalties. I didn't like the unsportsmanlike call. Not a penalty. The call for the power play before was a trip on
penalty.
McDavid, where, I think it's a penalty.
He's the best. I mean, we've sat here a million times. You want the best players in the game to be protected. You want them to be. He gets hauled down. It's a penalty.
And we, in our game, have 50-50 calls. We have 60-40 calls. It's that fine of a line. Yeah, I don't like the call. Yeah, I like the call. That has historically been in our game, and it will continue to be in our game forever, where you get to go, that's not a penalty, and someone else goes, yes, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
So there has to be a level of acceptance there. I just think, again, from a bigger, broader view, that, you know, the leeway that we have with our hockey players and the officials, first of all, is way better than I've seen in other leagues. And I'll go back
You
to
can swear at an official and not always get a penalty.
can we
Sometimes
just
you will.
okay, the focus. We've watched a lot of baseball lately. I watch, you know, Boone, the manager from New York. I've seen Schneider, Walker's the pitching coach. You even sneeze on a bad call, they will throw your ass out.
In regular season,
Don't
for
care.
Sure. Playoffs, you can really get your opinion. Like, I mean,
Okay.
Gino Suarez in the playoffs went into his face and was screaming F-bombs, and he didn't toss
All
it.
I know is those umpires have a way shorter fuse for what they want to take from either players or managers than we have in hockey. Okay.
Unsportsmanlike in the NFL if you celebrate, let alone if you complain about calls. You know,
So, like, again, people aren't privileged. I know there's mics on the ice, but people are not privileged to the back and forth, which happens constantly in our game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can tell a referee to, you know, you can tell them a lot of things and they can come back at you, but nobody gets thrown out of the game. And very seldom will they ever give you a 2-minute minor for unsportsmanlike if you just hold your word or your argument, and you just, even if you're in their face, even if you tell them F off, that's a horrible call, they'll turn around, they'll talk to you, and then it's move on. It's the showing up that I didn't like last night, and I did have it as a showing up the official.
The big stick slap on the ice while
Buddy,
looking at
I'm
him, while
telling you,
skating at him.
No, Sammy.
No, but I get his
Come
point.
on.
If he
Sammy,
just skates at him and
Sammy,
jaws at him,
You
maybe
can
it's
go and
different.
tell him that's a horse sheep.
Oops.
Oops.
Sheep. That was
Horse
horse sheep. He
Yes.
pulled that off. That was
Yeah, you can tell him.
Go to first base. Did he go?
I caught myself there. Hey.
Didn't go.
Hey. No full swing. Check swing. Check swing. You can go and tell him that it's a you know what call,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it, and you're fine. You want to get into now the beaver tapping on the officials? That's showing them up. I don't care.
Can I
don't
push back
care.
on that? It's after a goal is scored. No one's seeing it happen. The whole fans are celebrating, happy. It's like it's a
I saw it happen.
We saw
Live?
it.
No.
Everybody saw it.
live. It's an afterthought if he doesn't call it. It doesn't even.
He doesn't know what's watched and what isn't. That's not up to the official to
I
sit
hate
there
to
and
sit
go.
here and defend the Habs, but I thought that he got absolutely jobbed. I think that's one of the worst calls
Okay.
I've seen in a long time. If that happened to the Leafs, I'd be
Sammy,
apoplectic, so I
Sammy,
can't talk it to both sides of my mouth here.
Here's where it is for the officials. I let Josh Anderson tap a call that he's making fun of. Everybody's got the green light. You want to see that now after a bad call, guys tapping their sticks like they're looking for, applause from somebody or no, you don't get to tap and mock an official's call with your stick. I'm sorry. And that was after he shot the puck down. It wasn't that he shot the puck down the ice that did it. It was the tapping of the stick.
It pointed the finger at the ref when it was Anderson's guy who comes in, Draisaitl slips behind him and scores the goal. So it's like, well, don't look at me, look at this guy. The other thing I will say, I'm with you.
Okay, good.
I think you're right.
Okay. Yeah.
The NHL's website keeps a net penalties, so like how many you've taken versus how many you've drawn. The Montreal Canadiens are dead middle of the league at -1. The Leafs are -3. The Blackhawks,
What are the
Jets,
Oil?
Kings. The Oil are +6, and that's 5th in the league. Minnesota Wild +14.
Plus 14.
Avalanche +10. Fast teams draw penalties.
That's it.
Here's my last word on that is that it's the NHL, man. And we got kids watching and they love to mock the pros. If Josh Anderson gets away with tapping his stick to mock an official, then all we're doing is telling every 12 or 13-year-old it's okay. When you get a bad call against you, look at the official and applaud it with your stick, that call. Now, the coach gets to go back to the 12-year-old kid and say,
Oh, somebody think of the children.
he got a penalty, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's that simple, Sammy.
It's an incredibly high-paced, energetic, emotional game, and he taps his stick on the ice, and you send him to the box with the best power play in the league. It's a horse bleep call.
We're going to stick with baseball things. When you keep the bat on your shoulder with 2 strikes and one's near the zone, you might get a bad call.
Sure.
When Josh Anderson, you want to play with fire, you might get a bad call.
Sure.
I'm
never
not
going to
asking-
defend refs.
Let's not ask us. Let's ask a head scout, pro scout, Jason Bukala.
We got answers.
Been around a long time. Books, what's going on, pal? How are you?
Boys, that was a ridiculous call.
What do you know? You're just a scout.
Give me a break. It's the National Hockey League. This isn't freaking minor hockey. Got to send a message, teach somebody a lesson when they're 10 or 12 years old. Stupid. Montreal deserved much better fate last night. I'm not going to. I actually thought they should have got a couple of saves. I didn't like how Monty was tracking the puck very well, but give me a break. Stupid.
Tell us how you really feel.
Stupid call. There we go. It's over. It's gone. It's gone.
Outside of that, have we seen enough of a sample size to say that Montreal is going to be right in the thick of things in the Atlantic Division all season long? The energy, the vibe, the excitement, all good for you so far?
Really good for me.
To believe?
Really good.
To believe?
I believe they're not a wild card team. I think they're a top 3 team in the Atlantic. I mean, what I like about them guys is, and it's already starting to show, I'm sure you guys have noticed this as well, is the pace that certain teams are playing with compared to others. Like I'm already noticing some of the veteran teams, i.e. even Toronto, like look at Utah play, look at New Jersey when they come in, although they have a mix there. Obviously look at Montreal. They got an interesting mix of some veterans and some youth, but boy, oh boy, like last night, I wasn't fearful at all that they couldn't track up and down the ice with Edmonton's quickest players. This team plays fast. They got tons of skill. They're resilient. They push back when it's necessary physically. And you know what? They got tons of depth. So if things were to go off the rails, like Dovish were to get injured or Monty goes down with injury between the pipes, you got Fowler down there in the minors, who's a stud. and they can pull him in. And trust me, he could play NHL games right now. And, you start going through, like Owen Beck could come up and plug in the bottom six and do a real nice job defensively, even if he doesn't pot anything offensively. They just got so much momentum, so much depth, so much flexibility. This team's a problem. They're not going away for a long time.
Books, the NHL these days, there's 32 teams, a lot of teams. It's not as physical as it used to be. Is it easier to have success as a rookie or a young player in the NHL today? I'm looking at the top 10 in rookie scoring: Emmett, Finney, Schaefer, Kapanen, Buyam, Demidov, Seneke, Snuggerud, Nikishin, Ryan Leonard. Like, there's a lot of really impactful young players now. Is it just a little bit easier than it used to be to have an impact young?
So on that list, as soon as when you spit it out there for a sec, I was going to say yes, and then I started thinking about that list there. Like, you think about Z, Buyam in Minnesota. You think about Ryan Leonard. You even think about Seneca. Like, these guys play the game hard, physical. Like, they play that style of game on top of being able to what they do offensively. So I think that they are they're suited for whatever would come their way. But on balance, I have to agree with you. I really do. I think that out of the box between games 1 and 82, whether you're a rookie or not, that it's just not as physical as it used to be. It's a track meet nowadays. And these youngsters come into the league, generally speaking, they play fast and they get away from contact more often than not. And they're not fearful because they're kind of egging you on to chase them down, if that makes any type of sense. I think the game in regular season, especially in the first segment, call it 20 games, is shot out of a cannon. And I think there's more space for those guys.
You're watching and listening to Jason Bukala, Pro Hockey Group and Sportsnet analyst, NHL scout, former NHL scout. Now we get him full time. Books, you mentioned Montreal Atlantic Division, where we didn't really anticipate is the tough start in Toronto, Tampa, and Florida here. Which one surprises you the most?
Tampa Bay, I would say. I had Vasilevsky on my radar to come into the season better prepared to get off the Schneider early and play more to his what we're used to seeing out of him, that elite level of play. They're losing close games. They're losing close games to teams that they should be beating. They look a little bit disjointed, not a little bit disjointed. They are. They're already 8 points, I think 8 or 10 points now back of the top of the table in the division. And we'll see where that goes. I'm keeping kind of a close eye on that. I guess Cooper's quietly got an extension in the offseason. And I'm not suggesting for 1 second that they're looking to make a coaching change. But all I'm saying is that they're performing at a much higher level than this. And you can't chase the play. You can't chase the game getting into November, as we all know. Toronto's right there with me, though, too, guys. I'm more concerned about the Leafs than I thought I would. I had them picked to win the Atlantic. They still might win the Atlantic, but I got way more concerns than I thought I was going to have. I thought Dakota Joshua would come in and play physical. I think he's got 21 hits so far, but I think he's -6 at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. And at the top of the table, like Max Domi, whether you want to believe it or not, stats are stats, but he's been credited with 1 body check in 7 games. How does an Energizer bunny like that, who's at his best when he's involved, creating havoc a little bit to open up space for not only himself, but other people, only have that? They look moody to me. They don't look engaged for a full 60 minutes. The goaltender called them out. The coach is getting frustrated. They're missing somebody on the right flank at the top of the table. Nylander will slide in there, but I'm not so sure right now. I'll give it some time here. That 10-game segment starts to tell me things. 15 is going to be a problem. I don't like the mood. I don't like the look. I don't like the identity of the group right now. And it gets late, awfully early in the NHL.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Hey, Books, yesterday we had Matthew Darsh on, and we talked a little bit about Matthew Schaefer. Feels like everyone who talks to anyone related to prospects needs to have a Matthew Schaefer conversation. Are you surprised with what he's done so far this season? I saw something like on his burst of speed. He's up there with, some of the fastest guys in the league already, and how consistently he's getting up to those paces.
Yeah, no, I'm not the least bit surprised because the character is off the charts. And this kid has already lived through more bad days, fellas, at such a young age than most young people maybe live in their lifetime. He's gone through a lot, right? And he's persevered. And if I looked at his body type, obviously, he got injured at the World Juniors. We all know that. And then he had no choice but just kind of train and be ready for the draft. At the draft, when we had him at the combine, and I looked at him, like his physical makeup, and then I looked at him in LA, which was an awesome experience. And one that I just want to throw something out there. That day for that kid is one of those moments I wish we were in the Montreal at the Bell Center a couple of years ago so we could really soak in front of 20,000 people, because our old way of doing the draft, he's so deserving of that moment. But anyways, I digress. I looked at his body type at the end of the summer when he hit camp, and boy, oh boy, did he put in the work, Bourne. And this kid's a complete player. This guy is a complete player, and he's going to be in Norris Trophy type of conversations for years to come. And dare I say, he's like the next coming on the island of like a Denny Potvin type of staple for the Islanders going forward. Future captain for sure.
So, I mean, yes, the character is just as much as you've ever seen on any top pick in probably our history. It's there. Everybody cannot talk about this kid without mentioning it first. Is that enough? And along with his attributes, physical attributes already, is that enough to exempt him from too much too soon for an 18-year-old kid?
No, I can't. I'm never going to exempt them from any of that. It's a process, Kyper. There's going to be some down times here. There's, right now, out of the box, to Bourne's point, right out of, his question about how some of these rookie guys have more space, or it's not as hard for them when they enter the league right now, just the way the game's played. He's playing heavy minutes. He's playing all situations. But trust me, as you guys know, the games will just get exponentially more difficult, right? So if the Islanders are hanging around the playoff mix in the Metro or in the East, it's just going to get harder and harder and harder. And then after Christmas time, there's going to be some speed bumps here, some speed wobbles for sure. And I'm expecting that. It's not going to be a straight line trajectory, but that's where when I'm scouting players, I always like to tell some stories. Like I've met players along the way who have told me stories about how they've had to overcome things. Or if I go to Michigan State in a week and a half to watch Penn State play, Gavin McKenna's coming in there. It's going to be a hostile environment. If I find out that week that he was suffering through a little bit of the flu, or he had to write an exam and it was really tough, and he had a lot of distractions, but he still presents his A game, whatever that is, on the Friday night. And if he's not impacting it offensively, he does a lot of other things. That's the way Matthew Schaefer's built. So on his worst days, he's going to find a way to impact the game. If it's not offensively, he'll get buttoned up defensively. He'll outlet pucks. He'll stay above the play. He won't pinch down. He's so smart that way. But listen, these guys will all have hurdles to overcome. He hasn't even gone through every arena in the league yet. He hasn't even experienced all the travel. So there'll be some speed wobbles along the way.
Yeah, well, he's certainly been impressive, and that's been very encouraging from someone paying attention to the Islanders a little bit. Another young superstar and Calder hopeful, Ivan Demidov, obviously someone that you talk quite a bit going, when he first came over last year. Has he met the expectations for you of what you thought he could do very early in his NHL career?
Yeah, I would say so. I think there's another level there to go to. I think that, you watched the game last night compared to the Calgary game, like the overtime pass that he made to Matheson 2 nights ago. He attracts attention already as a young, skilled guy. And yes, it's off a line change, but he sees the full width of the ice and he makes plays. He's super enthusiastic. He's a rink rat. But there's going to be some growing pains there still off the puck and defensively. And but guys, you can't teach what he does offensively, and you can't teach that personality. He's born to be a Montreal Canadian when they get good, really good. They're already good when they get really good, and he's an electric talent. He's not the Alexei Kovalev when he was floating around in Montreal making skill plays till the end of time. And then, off the puck, never having any detail. This kid's going to figure it all out, and he's going to be a $10 million player before we know it. Dare we say?
You mentioned the Calgary Flames. seems like they're headed to towards the bottom of the standings here, and whether or not this is the year to do it, Books, with McKenna out there as a top prospect, and if anyone's ever going to come close to him throughout this season.
Yeah, it's Calgary's in a tough spot, boys. Last year, they're not an easy out as a group, and I still don't think that they're an easy out as a group, but they just can't score goals. And even with Huberdeau coming back into the lineup here, it really last year looks more. I don't think it's an anomaly. I think that Dustin Wolf is capable of playing at the same level that he played last year, but he hasn't so far this year. And his play last year, along with Dan Vladar, who, by the way, who is off to a good start in Philly, those guys masked a lot of the warts, if you will, of the Calgary Flames. And if they're not making all of those timely saves, because even in the Montreal game the other night, he made a ton. If they're not making all of those saves, then they don't score enough goals. And then this is exactly what you get here. This is a result. So they're not hard to check when they're not scoring a lot. They don't impose that type of fear in the opponent. But I'm going to say this too. The McKenna sweepstakes, and I did a story yesterday. Gavin McKenna is definitely the top prospect for this draft class, but it's not just his draft. Trust me when I tell you that. Keaton Verhoff at North Dakota, the big right shot, 6'4", 212-pound defenseman. I spoke to some of my colleagues here. They were at Nodak last week, and they said this is going to be much more of a race than people believe. And then there's a kid in Sweden, this Ivar Stenberg, who is just Otto Stenberg's brother, by the way, from St. Louis. This kid is electric, and he's playing in the SHL over there. So it's going to be more than just a one-headed monster. So there'll be choices and there'll be flexibility for the teams that are finishing towards the bottom here.
Well, that's encouraging if you're a Flames fan, feel like things are not going to stay on the rails the rest of the way. It's funny how different years the number one pick can impact a franchise in such different ways. Looking at some of the ones recently, I'm wondering a little bit about Lafreniere and where he's at with the Rangers, because he's a guy that I know fans get frustrated with, and I've always liked him quite a bit. So I'll get a thought on that, but then I also want to get a thought on Celebrini, who had 5 points last night, and just the impact he's having on the other end of the spectrum for his team.
Yeah, so here's the danger with the draft class. Not every draft class is the same, and people just assume, and fans of the game, I don't blame them. They just assume that guys that are first overalls or top of the table prospects in their draft cycle are going to have the same type of impact as the McKinnons and the Celebrinis, and dare I say, Barkov went second years ago, guys, when we drafted him, and it's just not a fair comparison. Lafreniere, for me, I like him. I don't love him. I always, he leaves me wanting. And 28 tucks 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and then 17 last year. The New York Rangers are off to obviously an uneven start. New coach, he's trying to impose, he wants them to play a certain way, and I get that. This player here, when he's playing heavy, hard, going to the paint, he's a problem. And he's got real good puck touch, and he can work off the half wall and do some things. But Bourne, he doesn't, on his worst shifts when he's not plotting offense, he doesn't push back enough. Okay. And so he's got to learn to push back more. And it's getting past the stage of learn. He's been in the league for a while. He has to do that. You have to create more of your own space, more of your own opportunities. And there's a lot of nights that I feel like he can do more of that.
As far as
dumb stuff.
As far as Celebrini and Smith, I mean, was last night. I know it's the Rangers, and God, they're struggling, but bit of a coming out party for those two guys in particular, and how special they already are, or how special they will be. Like what they did last night, I don't think players that young have been able to kind of take command of a hockey game since Messier and Gretzky, or Messier and Curry, that young.
I 100% agree with that. Look at Celebrini is, to me, as close to Sidney Crosby when he arrived in Pittsburgh. That's what he is to San Jose for me, Celebrini. And Will Smith isn't far behind. So call him the Malkin. I know they're different in stature, whatever else, but you understand what I'm saying, the yin to the yang. The Thornton and Celebrini is Thornton like that's what he's going to mean to the San Jose Sharks. Guys, He's an electric talent. I think he's right in the mix for the Olympic team. He's going to be a name. He's an energetic player with skill. He competes up and down the sheet. And Will Smith, like he's going to be, oh gosh, I wonder. I don't think he's going to be in the mix for the U.S. team this year, but soon enough he will be. San Jose's got an embarrassment of riches there. Nisa can't get a sniff. He gets a sniff, but he's in the 3-hole. This guy can't come back to Major Junior this year and go off for 160 points. He's not going to be any better for that. Yet you can see how he is even 2 steps behind them already. Yet he's an elite talent that's going to get there as well. So San Jose's, they got an embarrassment of riches there. And that's part of the process. They have to get good sooner than later, though. I will say that. I don't think that that's a marketplace that can take rebuilding too long, even when you can see that the fruits of the labor are on the horizon. I think that that's a market that they got to start getting good or better sooner than later as a group.
Got to ask you, especially for 650 in Vancouver, the Vancouver Canucks lost last night to Nashville, a team that obviously is struggling as well. And, just overall, what can we expect through your eyes when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks?
I don't know if you guys watched any of that game last night, but oh my God, man, it was not good. It was like a high-end American Hockey League game for me last night, not a National Hockey League game. I hated watching it, but I did. I really was keying in on it, Kyper, because I wanted to see up the middle of the ice if this is sustainable without making a move for the Vancouver Canucks. It's not. They need help in the middle of the ice. It's terrible what happened to Phil Hedl on the weekend. I'm more worried about his overall health than what he can do for the Vancouver Canucks, to be perfectly honest, because this is not good. But from a team building perspective, there's a lot of holes there in Vancouver's lineup. And when you look at, so Besser comes back in, but he had something going on away from the ice. And you look at when Bluger's out, when Hedl's out, even with the speed that they do have on the back end, it doesn't matter. That game was slow. It was disjointed. And I thought that they were going to end this road trip. They had good momentum for the first 3 games of it, and then it went off, the rails here for the last couple. Now I'm more concerned about the Canucks going home to play back-to-back. So I'm keeping a close eye on that.
Quickly, I know we got to get going here, but the pressure on Pettersson now, and he's not off to a great start with just the 1 goal so far, 20-plus minutes last night. Is this going to improve? Is this going to... Are fans going to continue to sit there and go, what did we pay $11+ million for?
Well, I know you want to go, and I probably have a long answer for it, but I'll give you my short one. And that is that it's been a long time since that contract has been signed. So you got to get up off the schneid. People pay big dollars to come watch you play. And if you're not scoring goals, then you're going to have to do a bunch of the other things. But here's the bottom line. He's paid to create offense. That's it. He's paid to do that, and he's not getting it done. All the talk about off-season conditioning and preparation and all that talk is cheap in pro sports. Sooner or later, you have to make things happen. I'm not ruling it out because I don't want to talk about it all year. I want him to get it done. But if you're going to ask me if I trust it right now, no, I don't trust it yet.
Great stuff as always, Books. Thanks, pal.
Awesome, boys. Enjoy the weekend of baseball, and thanks for having me on.
You got a number on that Jays jersey, or?
I was at the Jimenez giveaway.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I got to go down on the field for Yankees batting practice. I stood beside Aaron Judge, and he made me feel like I was a garden gnome at 6 feet tall.
Like you were an appetizer.
That's right.
All right, pal. Thanks for doing this once again. Jason Bukala, everybody.
Good stuff.
Great stuff. Celebrini. I'm like, I didn't watch. I was watching Pens and who they play? Oh yeah, Florida. Didn't watch that one closely, but I watched the highlights of Celebrini. I love that kid, man.
Oh yeah, he's
just awesome
and
exciting.
Ryan Reeves Rempe tilt.
That was a hockey fight.
Give
Rempe credit; he's gotten better. He still his balance is a struggle, but
no. I like
knocked
Rempe,
down
but
every fight last year.
I'm giving Reeves the credit.
Oh, for sure, Reeves the win, no doubt about it.
The win and knocked him out of the game.
I think Reeves is in the short conversation for like the best fighters ever. Like if you're gonna put him up against like some of the best
this
guys.
era for sure. If you want to go and exchanged eras to eras.
But like
I'm
you
sure.
put him in there with
He's
those
not
old tough
chaotic
guys.
enough.
No,
He's
he's
too controlled.
he's
and
done a hell of a job, and I'll give him kudos again last night. He's at the end of his career. He's hanging on. Another team. But to go in there and fight that guy and beat him and knock him out of the game.
Sick.
You never saw a shift after that,
Totally full credit.
right?
Full credit. Yeah.
And now, got to be concussed.
Rempy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he took 2 or 3 shots.
Landed 'em.
And when you don't play after that,
Yeah.
means you got your bell rung.
Yeah. He's in tough. But, like I said, he's been really working on this fighting thing. It's hard. He's a big man.
Who do you think the best fighter ever is?
Ever?
Yeah.
It's hard not to lean on Proby,
Bob Probert came to mind. For
you
me,
know.
too.
And,
And Ty.
Yeah. See, we're talking about guys that, like, loved it.
Yeah. Correct.
Right? Loved it. Rob Ray, to me,
Good one.
for 20-plus years, loved it too.
You guys, if you're gonna do it that long, you gotta love it.
Well,
Oh my! I ran out of gas like after 500
I
games.
think Rob
You
came on
know?
our show and said he misses it.
Yeah,
Like he wishes he could still do it.
Mayday. could
Like
choke
I
him,
know.
too.
There are times I wish I could punch somebody again.
Well, sure. That's a fantasy for sure.
Sammy,
that
you're
we
too
all
far
have.
away. I
Oh,
can't
thank
reach
God.
you from
Thank
here.
God.
But it's funny because I will say, Clark Gillies gets recognized as one of the tough guys.
Yes.
But he
There's 6 of them on your team.
and
Your dad's
but
team.
he didn't. He didn't love it. He didn't want to the way that some of these guys loved the fight aspect. He liked it. He had no problem with it. He
Especially-
wouldn't shy from it.
Especially when you win or look good.
Yeah.
That's when you really love it.
Yeah. I will say, if you asked him right now if he loved it, he'd say yes. But I
Yeah.
think it wasn't like he was looking for it. Some of these guys are just were dying to do it.
We should go.
Okay, let's take a quick break. When we return, plenty more to get into, including the Pittsburgh Penguins, who won again.
Unintentionally the greatest
Oh my
team of
God.
all
Hey.
time. Whoops, we built a wagon.
Plus, in our second hour, we'll welcome in Craig Simpson as we transition to a Leaf edition in our next hour. Plenty more still on Real Kyper and Bourne. A reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, who is getting ready. Don't peak too early tonight,
No.
okay?
No, I'm
Pace yourself.
gonna be a good boy. Like,
What time will you get to the ball game?
I think I'll probably head down there for 7. Get in there an hour early, see the
8:00, what?
I think it's just 8 on the dot.
8 first pitch.
And I just, see the feel. Maybe get to see the Pharrell Williams concert potentially. Have a cold beer, walk around, get the scene.
So
you know,
get
Where are you-
all in.
Were you on Bo going back in?
I
Do we have the lineup? Is he playing
No,
second?
there's no lineup
Georgian
out
right,
yet.
probably.
I think you obviously have to put him in there. You would be insane to not put him in there. He's on the roster. You've made the decision.
Could you
I-
just
I-
keep him on the bench and then
It's not-
work him in midpoint of the game?
I could see them doing that game 1
Mhm.
where he doesn't play.
Don't start him.
That's what I see. I think that's what they'll probably do.
I would not start him.
KF is
But the only scary part is that they love to do the defensive replacements in the later innings. And if you have George Springer in the later inning and it's a close game, you're not going to want to do the defensive replacement
Mhm.
as in put a straw in there or whatever. So it's a tough spot. I am going tonight, like I've mentioned to you guys. And I woke up this morning. I was part of the record low crowd ever at Rogers Center. There was under 10,000 people there, and Roy Halladay was pitching for the Jays. It was the season before he left. And I've been to so many games at Rogers Center, and just waking up today being like, you're going to a World Series
44,000
game.
people. You said
It's-
what was the podcast you mentioned? With pardon the interruption, guys.
Oh, bro, pardon my take.
Pardon
They're
my
talking.
take,
They're
guys.
singing
That's-
"Okay Blue Jays." This is a worldwide event,
People
and
paying attention.
I cannot tell you how blessed I am to go tonight. I'm truly. I can't really I
It
do
is-
not care
it
about our
is-
show today. I
it
can't
is-
think about anything
Thanks,
else.
man.
It
That's
is-
awesome.
It is international. This is NHL. I don't want to take anything away from Florida Panthers, but it's
Asia's not involved.
it's-
in watching,
it's just-
the Florida
it's-
Panthers.
it's not like a major stage, like a major market like LA. Toronto, one of the biggest cities in North America, major market, hubs, people all over the world. It's easy to get to anywhere in the world, to Toronto or LA.
Yeah.
And they're coming.
Yeah.
They're coming. Like, I can only imagine the international credentials that were given out in the last
Working in comms would
But
be
this
fun.
is part of the fun thing of your team doing well and going this deep is, talking about guys from the LA Times attempting to cover the Toronto Blue Jays. And, it's,
and I know
you're in
people
front
are,
of those people.
Shohei Ohtani leading
LA
off.
LA gets knocked for what, 250 million payroll?
No, they're
430.
Okay.
Jays have
Jays,
Jays are
250.
250. Yeah,
LA what?
I think over 4.
But this is why you want LA in a World Series, or
Totally.
New York in a World Series, and these markets wake up the whole world.
Totally.
Now you factor
and
in
the chance to beat
Ohtani.
these
Come on.
markets and arguably I'd say the 3 best potential opponents they could have faced
Yep.
is thrilling.
Like the whole world's watching
the
tonight.
table's set, man.
Forget about Canada.
No, I know,
The
it's-
whole world is watching
can I-
It
tonight.
is
Can I
literally
say-
called the World Series.
So can I say the thing that off
But
there
they don't
people
watch.
are saying?
They don't always watch the World Series. This one's different.
What are they
Doesn't
saying,
matter.
Justin?
Just don't get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Just don't get in this spot
Yeah.
and get swept. You know why? We had the Leafs finally won a series, right? They can't get out of the first round, can't get out of the first round. The Leafs get out of the first round. They're a real team now. And they got humiliated
By
the
the
second the
Panthers.
next round started, and it voided everything.
I
You
don't-
don't want
Why
to
do you
get
guys
this far.
go there? Why do you plant that seed?
Well, I'm not playing. I'm just saying, as a fan, I just want us to show well.
They'll show well
I think they will too.
every time. They
You count them out?
show
count 'em
Shohei.
out.
Yeah,
Show.
it's going to be pretty surreal down there tonight. So I'm really excited. I'm really thankful. So there you go.
Okay. We mentioned Crosby once again leading the Penguins over the Panthers last night, and did we
11 points for Sid.
do we need to cut them some slack here?
The Penguins in general?
Yes.
Here's the thing. If you have success and you're not trying to, are we applauding what's going on? I mean, I'm shocked. I'll give Dan Muse credit. He's gone into Pittsburgh and this team suddenly looks structured, organized, having success. Jari is off to a good start. That's part of the reason they're having success. They sent
Yes.
Ryan Graves
Better.
down to the minors, so they kind of took, cut their losses on that.
The problem is like, where is it going? Where is it headed? Right? Like they're just between Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. Still, they're just hanging on.
But you know what? This team's not that bad.
Well, they have a top 6.
okay, what is-
their bottom 6?
Raquel Crosby
falls
Rust,
off a cliff.
really good. Mantha, Malkin, Brazeau has been amazing. Brazeau's got 5
I
goals.
know.
Novak, Kindle, Hallander, whatever there.
So
Hallander was the Leafs guy.
So now
right? They traded for the
you're
pick.
telling me they can knock on the door of a playoff.
I am saying that.
Yeah.
Carlson, Letang, Connor Clifton, they're not a joke. Parker Witherspoon, they're not a joke.
I would say that the guy that jumped out to me watching, Sid obviously always
They're
going to jump out
pumped
to
about
me.
this Kindle kid.
Sid looks unbelievable. But your boy that you wanted the Leafs trade for at one point, Carlson looks a lot like Eric Carlson right now. Like he.
Yeah, I sorted for giveaways today. He's doing
Oh yeah,
Carlson
for
things.
sure. But like watching that game last night, I mean, the puck's on his stick half the time.
Yeah.
It feels like he's snapping. He's
That's
making
why
quick,
it's giveaways. He
it's
makes
quick
plays.
decisions. Like
Did he grow conscious on defense over
No,
the
I don't know
summer?
about that.
never would.
But he won a Norris with no conscience. He can still do good things without it.
You don't get 100 points with a conscience.
No, not from the back end.
Yeah, no.
Dewar and Achari on the 4th line.
And if
Remember that?
yeah, I remember those days. And if Jari is okay, which has been hard for him to come by, but I got to say I'm not fully going all in on them being a playoff team, but they look way better than
But
I
this is
expected.
nightmare
them to.
mode, Sam, because they're going to go get 89 points and
Yeah,
draft
you're right.
11th.
Correct.
That's nightmare season.
Got to trade Sid quick.
Better do it.
Get rid of him
Flip
so
him
they
before you win too
stop
much.
being so good. Yeah, but if it's a
Pretty happy right now.
yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of a chicken and the egg. It's like, well, you can't trade Sid because he wants to be good and he wants to be there.
Yeah.
But if you're bad, anyways.
How about some of the, for one, how soft the Atlantic Division looks right now? I was going to do it with some other divisions, but just start with the Atlantic. Like Tampa now 1-4-2 in 7 games. Bruins are 3-6. Sabres are 3-4. Sens are 3-4. No one's happy with the Leafs. Panthers are below 500.
Have a conversation about Tampa Bay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they can't put the puck in the net.
They cannot put the puck in the net. Let me just sort the whole league. by
Kucherov's been out,
goals.
I think, a couple of games.
Yeah, they're second last in goals for, 5 ahead of the Flames, who are last.
Wow.
How many
Okay,
goals have they
how does-
scored?
How does
Flames
that
have
happen?
13 goals in 8 games.
Oh.
So
I mean, Dustin Wolf's right. He's doing his job. Holy smokes.
like
18 goals in 7 games for the Tampa Bay Lightning is a jarring number.
SLFC's he's got to come out and say the same thing. I can't score.
I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe.
Gensel.
Gensel, is he off to a slow start? Is that what you're telling me?
What's he got? 5 points? 7 points?
Yeah.
It's no one's Braden Point.
But so hold on. Am I mistaken? John Cooper just signed an extension.
This summer he
this
signed
summer,
an
'cause
extension.
You made some
Yeah.
joke about.
Did you catch Books in our interview earlier throw in the comment about I don't think that they're going to make a coaching change? Did you catch that on Tampa?
Yeah.
It didn't register with me. No.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. Even to joke around like that, it's like, whoa, the great John Cooper. Could you see it?
All things come to an end at some like
He
coaches
just signed a contract.
I mean, didn't Sheldon Keefe sign a contract the year before they gunned him? Like, it happens, man.
They're the Leafs, though.
I know. I'm just saying that, like, every great coach
Yeah.
ever has been fired or left. And at some point,
I'm with Justin a little bit here. I don't think that you sign a guy in the summer and then bail on him and especially with John Cooper at Christmas or March or the following summer.
Gensel's a point per game, too.
Yeah. Okay. But
Gensel, Point, McDonough,
Come on.
Kucherov, Hedman, Sorelli, Bjorkstrand. Like there's
if he was closing out a deal,
Yeah.
even if he had next year still on the table,
I'm not saying they're going to.
I could sense that it's a time for a change more so than just re-upping.
Can I rescind? Like, I'm not saying they're going to fire him
Mhm.
at American Thanksgiving, but if they have a putrid year this year
Yeah.
and they miss the playoffs or something, I could see a mutual at the end of this season. Like, I'm not saying they're going to be like, oh, you're done. We got to fire up the guys by firing John Cooper midseason. That's not what I'm saying. But I think you could see the end being somewhat near there.
even still, the most shocking part of their statistics page is the plus minus. I don't know. Think of it what you may. Braden Point is -9 and Kucherov is -8. Their best player is Pontus Holmberg with +3. Now, I don't mean their best player. I mean in terms of this very tailored stat based on your usage. However, -9, -8, not good.
So let's just do a little what if. What if they
actually stink?
want to unload
Unload what?
by March? I'm asking you.
Ooh, let me look
Who?
at the menu.
Who? Like, let's play owl. Who?
It's got to go to their
Like, who could you see
cap-friendly or
them
whatever
if
it
they
is now,
wanted to
cap
make a
wages.
change and just
Puckpedia.
would you ever think about like Point Kucherov?
Oh my
No.
God! What words are you making?
on a bad
Cooch-
year?
Cooch is
If they miss the playoffs,
Cooch is tempting.
would you tempt just to shake it up, the group, the nucleus?
Cooch has 1 year left after this, which is why he's an interesting name. Point, Gensel, Hagel, and Sorelli are all under contract until we're all dead.
And those guys are all playing on my hockey team until they're done their contract.
Yeah,
That's how I would answer that
Hedman
question.
going to
yeah.
retire at Tampa Bay
Yeah.
Lightning?
Yeah.
He's got this
Okay.
year, next
bolt.
year, the one after at H. Schmill.
Hagel's locked in for a while. He's young.
He scored 90 points last year, by
Right,
the way.
Gensel's just there. He's not going anywhere. But maybe the nucleus a little bit.
Wow.
They're
Yeah,
not going
Pontus
to miss.
Holmberg out of there.
They will not miss the playoffs.
You think they're turning it around?
I do, yeah.
I
do.
I'm with Kip.
Yep.
However,
Here's what I'll say.
they're on my watch list.
All right. 1 hour closer to first pitch for Sammy.
Oh, gonna have
Our thanks to Jason Bukala from Pro Hockey Group and Sportsnet. We're back with Leaf Hour Edition coming up next. It's the Leaf Hour on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Can't catch us live? No problem. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube are right there for you. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. This hour, Real Kyper and Bourne, brought to you by Bet365 as we gear up for Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres, for those of you who aren't into baseball.
Listen,
raise your hand if you're out there. I don't think you exist.
there'll be lots of people watching you for an hour.
Well,
Who's
we
going-
are helped out by the half-hour shift.
Who'd you say is going to the Toronto Buffalo game? Gunner?
Oh, timeout. Leafs PR is announcing Joseph Woll is rejoining. Hang on now. I just had a PR thing and my phone went cut out. Is rejoining the team and will resume team activities and on-ice participation as part of the return-to-play process. Wow, that just happened as the Leafs hour started. Genuinely
At
shocked
3 p.m.
to read that.
And that was on the heels of the Leafs also announcing that he was on LTIR, right?
Which is a minimum of 30 days, isn't it? Or it could be retroactive.
Yeah.
It could be retroactive.
So
So we'll have to look into some details on that.
that's good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how many games do you have to miss if you're in LTR?
I
10?
think it's 10 games or
So that-
30
10
days.
to
They did
24.
24
10 games, 24 days,
So
I
that
think.
makes a ton of sense. Where now, if he was put on there, they're
retroactively. Game
and that's
10.
kind of their ramp up process.
Wow, boy.
So we went through the math the other day on if he came back today. Do you remember
Just
that?
missed it.
And
yeah.
we said probably mid-November.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of nailed that.
Well, listen, none of us were going off anything there. We're just throwing stuff at the wall. And
Well,
seeing what
sometimes
sticks.
you do that.
Yeah.
sort of
I
stuff.
never know what Kip knows. The phone calls this guy has pre-show are very mysterious. I don't know what the hell he's doing over there.
What did they say? Right to play or?
So, goaltender Joseph Woll is rejoining the team and will resume team activities and on-ice participation as part of the return to play process.
Right to, is that like?
Return to play
So
process.
is that suggesting that he was in some program? No?
No. Well, no.
Okay. I'm
I-
asking.
I know.
It sounds to me like it's part of a process of sometimes when guys leave and they come
So
back.
here's what's weird about this whole thing.
It's not clear whether or not this was just someone else's issue or his personal issue.
Everyone seems to know or assume that this was not a family issue.
Yes. And I don't.
Every single person who says that quietly after they get off the mics, which is okay. It's okay that he had to sort something out, but it's just we don't have clarity from
No,
the team.
we don't. And I wonder if the Leafs or Joseph Woll will shed any more light, or is this the most information that we'll have? And please respect my privacy and don't ever
which is fine
ask
too.
me anything about it ever again.
I honestly would not be surprised if that was what we hear, that this was a private matter and it's none of your business. And a fair case to be made that that's fair and true.
Yeah.
But it is weird when the team represented it differently than that originally. Anyway, I guess it
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
know what the right answer is or the wrong answer.
Well, I don't either. We're flying by the seat of our
Yeah.
pants here.
All I know for sure is if there isn't any more clarity in any way, shape, or form, people will continue to speculate, and they'll also speculate if anything happens to him moving forward.
Yes.
Is it the same issues? Is it different? Is it like that's part of pro sports? Is you're gonna have to live with that people will always wonder now if he misses a game, is it really a pulled groin or something else going on either with him or a family matter again?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Leafs team save percentage currently right now, I'll just do a quick sort, is about sixth last in the league at 89% at 5-on-5, and I think it's 87% all strength. So they have not gotten Now, that said, goals above expected. So the Stolarz has been pretty good. You kept him in a lot of games, even though the save percentage isn't good. But either way, I just think anytime you get Joseph Woll back, I think you're pleased as punch.
I would say that, I mean, outside of Nostra Kipper over there, who called the timeline exactly, I would say that I'm a little bit surprised by this.
I'm very surprised.
That I guess maybe we should have been surprised now in retrospect with the LTIR thing, that like it kind of, works out perfectly for a conditioning, get back into it and that sort of thing. But, you just heard so little on this, boys. There's just been so little news, and they asked Berube. It's like, I don't talk to him. We'll see him when we see him. So
Hey, that was just yesterday.
such a clandestine sort of situation here. And I thought it was going to be a lot longer than this. And they need him. So they can't keep running Stolarz into the ground here. So
The Berube thing yesterday is particularly odd, right? No idea. I'll be back when he's back. I don't talk to him.
yesterday? Or was
Yeah.
was it yesterday?
PR release the next day.
Yeah, maybe.
Rejoining the team. Do you think Berube knew nothing?
Yeah, I do. It's
I guess, again,
it's
doesn't
tricky
matter.
when you're talking about someone who is leaving for other reasons, but besides injuries. There's stuff that between the Players Association and the CBA and whatever personal issues that go on, they're really kept private. They are, and I think there's
that's good,
only
and I support that.
a selected few, and it may just be through Brad Treliving and only, and he's got to respect protocols and agreements that, this is not to be spoken of. So I don't know. I take it for face value for Craig Berube.
Yeah, I
the
do
other
too.
day.
I think that's the only thing you can do. And
Yep.
wish Woll the best. This is good that he's back. Obviously, whatever's going on, he's coming around on.
All right, we know he won't be around for this weekend against the Buffalo Sabres, but we do know
Big weekend for the Leafs.
we know the guys that are, and we know that Riley and Tanev will not be involved. But where do you guys want to go first? Let's talk about the lines first before we go into who's available, who's not on the back end.
Okay.
The shuffling.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, tonight we're going to get our first look at that new top line, which I think is interesting. Kip, for me, it's like you just need to see a run of games. And so, we're going to talk tonight on the broadcast more about this. I'll highlight that Nylander and Matthews played together as often as Matthews and Marner in 22-23. And they were very good together. I think they outscored opponents 38-14 when they were on. They've had success. They've had a chance at this before. And then Bobby McMahon, which I mentioned on the show yesterday, the only guy forechecking and hitting. I expect them to be better. But I'd like to see them get more than 2 periods and it's not working. And, all right, call Domi back up.
Philosophically, I think it's funny that you got a new pair that you're just flipping. Like forever, the move they would make whenever there was any sort of turbulence, they would just flip Marner and Nylander, and now it's just Nyes and Nylander. They've just found a new pair to flip. They would never put somebody, Nyes on the third line, bring someone else there, or like try something. It's either going to be those guys get flipped, and away we go here. Those guys are set in stone.
Let's listen to Craig Berube in clip 2 about what he's looking for from Willie and Matthews together.
I mean, I've seen them before. I've used them quite a bit together this year, and they've had some good shifts and some good stuff. I mean, it's 2 skilled guys that, they know each other well. They know their game and how they play. So, I don't know how I'm going to know. I'm just, they do their thing, right? They're good players, and Bobby McMahon is playing well right now. I've liked Bobby throughout the season so far. He's skating well. He's on pucks, physical. So I just really like his speed on that line. So, I think they'll be fine.
There's no question that not the pressure, but the look that Willie Nylander has to have now is playmaker and facilitator of the puck. He's going to have to come in,
Transport it,
and he's going to whatever it is. This is ultimately he's got to get Matthews going. He's got to get
Well,
Matthews.
the first line has to be
He's
good.
got to get Matthews in a position where he is the threat that we know he has been and can still be. That's his job tonight.
Yeah, great. And, Nylander has scored 40 goals 2 years ago, 45 goals last year. One thing he does,
He can finish.
he's one of their few players who you don't know what they're going to do when they're in a shooting position. The Leafs have a lot of offensive specialists, and this is actually a complaint of mine about just the Leafs.
You mean Tavares isn't trickier when he's in a
Well,
shooting
yeah,
position?
like JT's going to pull the trigger. Matthew's going to pull the trigger. Nick
Yeah.
Robertson going to pull the trigger. You can go through this. Max Domi's going to pass the puck. Matthias Michelli's going to pass the puck. Like, you have these guys who's like one-dimensional. Willie's one of the guys who at least can throw you an off-speed pitch
He can do both.
with the heater. Yeah.
He can do both.
So, yeah, he carried the puck through the ice a little bit, neutral zone.
The one thing, well, I'll be watching for tonight, and that might be a little bit of a concern, is, how much does he want to hold on to the puck? How much does he want to look for a Matthews? How much he wants to shoot the puck? So he's going to have a few different looks, I think, at times tonight.
Mhm.
The one that he can also have is he can hold on to the puck a little too long and then turn it over. And he strikes me as a guy that can easily live with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like it
Whereas-
doesn't keep him up at night.
It doesn't keep him up at night.
You could, to say the least.
Very good phrase
Yeah,
by
thank
you.
Thank you.
Great drop in, Monty. It just like he is sometimes high risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know how much of a conscience he has when he does turn over the puck. And that can be a little tricky at times for him. And is he going to be a lot more careful now?
No, he's not. But no, but like the best players in the league every
Sorry, that's
year.
just- you're bang on. This is
Yeah,
funny.
No, it's not. The best players in the league turn the puck over the most. I mean,
Yeah, but that's been part of the problem for the first line all year long with Matthews, Nyes, and whoever's been on that, is that they've spent way too much time in their own zone.
yeah, totally. And
And-
that's why
and-
Nylander's there.
And at
because-
times it's because they've turned the puck over.
Yeah, top 10 turnovers in the league: Jack Hughes, Pasternak, Natchez, McKinnon, Eichel. Like it's those guys. Yes, Kip, he does
Yeah.
turn the puck over sometimes,
Yeah.
but at least like when Max Domi turns the puck over, Nylander's going to get you 100 points on the way, or 90
Yeah.
points, or which you'll take that.
The other concern for me is, what does it do to Tavares too?
Well, we have a clip about that. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Clip, actually, I think it's 3 there. Clip 3.
Territorial game with that line for me. That's what it's all about. I think with, JT's a guy that really, when you get a territorial game in the offensive zone with him, that's where he does his work, right? He's so heavy on pucks and strong, and he makes little subtle plays and, scores goals around the net area and inside that slot area. So I think, with Nice, get in there and help out, forecheck and be strong on pucks. And Michelli, his game's getting better, in my opinion. He's starting to see the ice better and making some plays. So, that's what I'm looking for with that line.
All right. So Michelli's the playmaker, the facilitator, and the other two guys will get in there and bump and grind and cycle and get to the net.
Let me ask you a very sincere question.
Yeah.
What do you think the line should be?
I don't think there's an easy answer. Whatever it is, it'll just be another look. And I do believe that I'm okay with this. I'm okay with not Nylander going up there with Matthews.
Yeah.
Got to get the big guy going.
Because, I do think that if we sat here and be like, what could go wrong with these lines? Like, yeah, there's holes, but it's also an NHL team and, not an all-star team trying to put it together as best he can. These are pretty good.
The one problem or the one issue could be that if it doesn't necessarily work, how long do you stay with it? And then you may have run out of options. Like if this doesn't work, I don't know where he goes.
Right. But that's not incentive to not do it. Right.
If this doesn't work, there's a saying about shuffling certain chairs on a certain ship.
Right.
So, if this one doesn't work, then you're just really going for
But
whatever.
that's why this is so great.
Yes.
Because it's like, here's a viable option. Let's try this one now.
It is if we did a breakdown of the first 7 games and how many different lines we've seen, somebody would go, "Oh my God, that's like way too many changes for just 7 games."
Well,
into
so
the
they played
season.
7 games of the season. Nyes and Matthews have been together all 7 games.
Yeah.
By their right winger have been Cowan for 37 minutes, Michelli for 21 minutes, Nylander for 20 minutes, Domi for 10 minutes, McMahon for 3 minutes. So 5 guys have played on their right wing in 7 games. Really, 4
And
of them
tonight?
have split it fairly evenly.
Add another one.
Well, he's not with Nyes tonight, but yeah, it's a full shuffle for game 8. So
Yeah. So,
But-
he's the other thing too. He's made it abundantly clear is there was a lot of talk about chemistry and it could take some time. And then yesterday he snaps, "I'm running out of patience." Right?
Didn't we have had? I mean, I think that's fair to be running out of patience. But we did have the conversation that like this is going to take some time. It's a bunch of new guys, trying to find something. Hopefully, this is what he found.
Mhm.
But you also have, I think, Dakota Mermis and Philip Myers on your back end tonight, so that could be a little bit different.
do like Dakota Mermis.
Okay, I don't have. I got to be totally honest with the panel here. Don't have a lot of Dakota Mermis opinions.
Love Philip Myers. So I like they're fine here. Benoit Myers as a
Love.
pair.
God, you fall in love easy.
As a third pair in the NHL, Benoit Myers, give it to me all day. Myers and Benoit were top few in hits for them last year. Myers will shoot the puck if it's within a 10-foot radius of his hockey stick.
Can't wait to hammer.
He's like an auto shoot. Like you remember playing like EA sports games where you'd press the one-timer button before the puck comes to you. He is ready when it gets in his kitchen. Benoit will shoot it too. He'll skate it. They're fun.
All
They're
right,
a fun pair.
let's get Craig Berube's thoughts. Clip 1 on playing without Morgan Riley and Chris
Well,
Tannen.
we all got to help out, right? I mean, simplify your game, and Buffalo's a good offensive team. They're a good rush team, so they got a lot of skill. But we're going to need, guys are going to have to help out, 5-man units, and simplify the game.
Bichette's playing second and hitting cleanup.
What? Oh my!
What's he playing?
Second.
Oh my!
You know what that sounds like? A guy that they're trying to really sign.
Yeah, be a part of this, please. I hope they're not
Yeah,
thinking about
sign
the
now.
future. They should worry about tonight.
What were we talking about before?
Defense, I think.
We might need to listen to the clip again.
Yeah, play it again.
Oh
We
my
could,
gosh,
yeah.
you guys. Squirrel.
It's the World Series. He's never played there before, ever, in his career.
Right there in the minors.
Yeah. Lansing Lugnuts versus the LA Dodgers tonight. Oh my God.
Okay.
Was that without Riley and Tanev? Is that the clip?
Yeah,
Let's do
yeah,
it again. Can we
yeah,
play that
yeah,
again?
yeah,
Clip
yeah,
1.
yeah.
Sorry.
Focus.
Well, we all got to help out, right? I mean, simplify your game, and Buffalo's a good offensive team. They're a good rush team, so they got a lot of skill. But we're going to need, guys are going to have to help out, 5-man units, and simplify the game.
Okay, whatever. We didn't miss anything.
I don't know. How much more simple can their game get?
Well,
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Could they complicate their game a little
I
bit?
think I would love to hear that.
Because they just it's looked a little too simple. Can we get a little bit of a complication?
Yeah. What if we, you know what?
How about a stick handle?
They were showing. I did a show with Books last week on like a Hockey Central, and they were showing Gavin McKenna highlights. McKenna's on Penn State, and they're showing the power play. McKenna passes it up to the point. The point man swings to the half wall. He rolls over top of him and opens up and takes a one-timer. It was like a really shifty. I was like, hey, that's really
complicated.
cool. That's what they should try that in the National League. Like.
Send a clip to Mark Savard.
Yeah, here's a neat little roll you could do to maybe get a couple of pucks through to the net.
Just direct, simplify.
Predictable is another thing they say a lot too, which goes both ways. For defenses.
For those of you watching, dozens of you, like
Hey, Mom.
tonight kind of feels like, I don't want to say fork in the road, but like it's one of the worst teams. It's perceived as one of the worst teams.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say they're not terrible.
You don't have success tonight. Like this has a chance to kind of snowball past Saturday night.
This is actually where the World Series not on tonight. I'd argue this is a massive game. Like 3-1.
It is a massive game. You can argue that. Like,
it is, but I'm saying the noise won't be as loud if you
Sure.
lose as it could be
Sure.
if you were the only sport in town right now. I guess the Raptors are back too. And by the way, they hung 138 points in their home opener.
I don't know if you. No, it wasn't home. It was in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if you watched that. They ran it up. I watched the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were really good. Yeah, they were really good.
But anyway, back to hockey.
I don't care.
They're having a tough time staying on the
I'm just
the
looking
boys
at.
today.
I'm telling you right now, it's out there on Friday. I'm staring at this lineup. I
I'm too-
can't
Miles Straw's
believe
in.
what I'm looking at right here.
Let's talk about it.
What do you got for us, Sammy?
So love that they're prioritizing Springer at DH.
Yeah.
That's a situation you can't put him out in the field. I understand that. Love that they're sticking with Jimenez at short. He's been excellent all year.
Yes.
He's snapping it over there. You have to do that. But like
No Barger in there.
second base is important too. Like that's a huge double play position where like a big moment in the game, he's got to move quickly. He's got to get it.
Can still catch a ground ball.
Come on. He's practicing the last 2 days.
He's moving around like
Did they
me
send him
after
to
a
Dunedin
workout.
for 2 days to play second?
I just hope, we did watch him like do the half run the bases and test it. You just hope he was going, I can't go 100% just in case. You hope there's more in the tank than
Okay, what else do you not like?
I love
Springline?
everything
David
else I love.
Schneider's
everything
hitting
you're fine.
second. No Nathan Lucas, eh?
Everything, they've done that. They've done that all year.
Yeah.
Nathan Lucas has been the second hitter when it's against the right-hander. David Schneider's been in there against
I like Schneider.
a righty.
Cowan in, Robertson out.
Cowan and Robertson out. I like where they've got him. I think Joshua and Waugh, I know they're not meanies, but they're huge. And presumably they can at least get in a scrum and stick up for him out there on the ice. They can get in on the forecheck with him. They can get to the front of the net and clear space for him. He's a dog on a bone. I think it's a good spot for him.
Let's hear from head coach Craig Berube on Cowan going back in. Clip 5.
Yeah, just kind of what he did the first couple games. He had a lot of energy, I really like that young energy in there. He's got to be managing the puck, and obviously he's playing with two big guys out there that are going to be around the net, and they're going to be heavy, and, he's just got to make sure he does a good job with the puck and plays with energy. And, be responsible defensively.
Do you think that? I think if he's just direct and predictable, no, I'm kidding.
Simplify.
Just the simplest.
Simplify.
Simplify.
Simplify it all.
Yeah, I think we're kind of getting to that spot within another week of what are we going to do with Cowan here?
That's interesting.
I don't want to see a scenario where he's popping in and popping out. Not at this stage of
I agree.
of his career, and I'm okay with him starting the season here.
How many minutes per game does he need to be
Yeah.
12 to 14?
Yeah, 12 to 14 would be nice.
If he's 12 to 14 minutes and can play in a third line, he's forechecking hard. I don't care if he ever gets a point. Honestly,
But he is a
cares.
point getter.
I know.
And you got to keep feeding that. The guy's a producer. And
Well, Joshua and Waugh
Right.
have
Like
put pucks in the net.
once upon a time, Nick Robertson was a 50-goal scorer in junior, and the perception was he was going to come here and score goals
Mhm.
and be a top player. And it hasn't happened yet. But I don't want him to turn into a Nick Robertson,
Mhm.
where it's like, okay, what are you again? Because I'll tell you what he isn't. A big physical guy. He's going to have to
Cowan.
be Cowan.
Yeah.
He's not. And he's never going to be a guy that runs anybody over.
What's crazy is Robertson's top 5 in hits in the Leafs last 2 years.
Yeah.
In hits per 60. He
I
runs
know,
into
but
guys.
they're-
off. Yeah.
they're like-
Oh, I know what you mean. It's not.
right?
what
It's
you're
not.
looking
It's
for.
not hurting anybody.
No.
Those hits aren't hurting anybody. And Cowan's a top scorer in junior history. He has
Yeah.
to come in the NHL. He's going to have to develop into a scorer.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, 60, 80 points, but those are the type of numbers I expect out of this guy coming out of junior.
But if he plays 12 to 14 minutes, he plays 60-some games this year, he gets 20 points. It's not to say that next year he can't be top 6, stronger, bigger, better, faster, become a 50-point
Well,
guy next year.
he is projected as being a top 6 player.
Yeah.
Like he has to be in. I think eventually a power play kind of guy.
I love the attributes he has that are not point getter stuff. Like he loves
He's
hockey.
tenacious.
He works. He's tenacious.
Yes.
He even he's punched guys in the face after the whistle. He already doesn't seem like he seems like the right DNA to add, but he's very young, and it's.
But he could be doing this for the Marlies as a top line guy.
Getting 50 points there.
Power play, playing a minute and a half on a power play or a minute and 20, whatever. But that's how you kind of groom a guy. And it's okay, I guess, if the Leafs remain a top contending team, but they find themselves scrambling to string 3 or 4 wins in a row. I'm not sure it's the right place for him to be.
No, I'm with you on that. No, I think that's been the debate from day one. And I think this is a great chance to say we haven't made a decision. Let's see. Kind of like training camp. Let's see. Go ahead.
In the meantime, it's got to feel like Groundhog Day for Nick Robertson.
I don't know what to tell you.
Do we have Ruby on Robertson?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I think missed opportunities. He's had some chances to score and just hasn't, he missed the shot, missed the net, That's something, I made a decision just to take him out tonight, and we're playing back-to-back here. So, Nicky, I think he's going to be fine. He's just getting those opportunities. He's got to bury them, or, he's just missing on them a little bit right now. That's what I see with him.
He had the one-timer where he wrung it off the inside of the post low blocker in a game.
Missed the net wide open on a McCabe pass.
Missed the one-timer, fanned on it. He's in those spots he's usually in. It hasn't gone in for him. He's still going to be the same guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I think he needs an opportunity. And I know the Leafs just don't believe that he can get one here. So I'm telling you, this guy has tools. I'm not saying he should be in a different spot than he is here, but
I think under different circumstances, he can be a 20-goal scorer in the NHL.
Totally. And they're not going to get anything for him. So your choice is basically just to
give him away or keep him as
that's
is.
it. Give him away or just let him be this guy.
Yeah.
And just accept it. And I can't.
Game time?
Game time.
Game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. The game that everyone will be watching tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs are in Buffalo to take on the Sabres. Leafs faves, minus 125 on the money line tonight. The Buffalo Sabres, plus 105. I think the Sabres have won 3 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
They have, yeah.
So I don't hate that price for the Sabres. This team, Leafs are going in there. They're struggling. There'll probably be more Sabres fans in there than normal tonight. Not a ton of Leafs fans going down there, I would imagine. A lot of crossover in terms of fans of Leafs.
Sorry, Sabres have won 3 of 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind if you're thinking about it. If you want a little happiness hedge, it wouldn't be that much of a happiness hedge, whatever. But don't mind the Buffalo Sabres at plus 105.
Shout out to a friend of ours who's going to Buffalo to watch the hockey
Gunner?
tonight. Gunner is going to be in attendance because he is a Leafs fan.
I'm scared he'll be the only one at the game.
If anyone's going to represent Leafs Nation, he's the right pick. Him and Gordy. Good old Canadian boy. Yeah. Gordy Gunner. What a name. Oh, my God. Make him the prime minister.
Gordy
Gunner.
And last thing I'll bring up tonight, as you know, the Toronto Blue Jays are hosting the World Series, in case you hadn't heard. Plus 130 on the money line for the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. Pretty heavy underdogs. Minus 155 for the Dodgers. Blake Snell goes for the Dodgers. The Blue Jays counter with Trey Yusavage, who started the year in single A Dunedin and is now pitching game 1 of the World Series.
Ice.
Don't you dare say
Ice
that.
in his veins.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something negative. The
Blake
look on your
Snell.
face.
No.
Blake Snell in the postseason
Trey's
under
got-
a 1 ERA.
Trey's got ice in his veins.
And Shohei Ohtani, you said, is a good splitter hitter?
Yeah, both of these teams hit the splitter really well.
Who
So,
hits the first home run? George?
no.
Vladdy?
Oh.
Yeah, I like that call, Bo. Little Kirk Gibson action, hobbling around the bases, playing second
Let's
base for the
hope
first
not.
time in his life.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's hope. All right.
You going to get us out of game time, or do we?
Oh, yeah, my bad. I forgot we were doing game time. That was game time, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
We've got Craig Simpson after this commercial break, but did you want to do anything on Carlo? Was there
No, we should
anything
go. We should
worth Nothing.
We should go.
Okay.
He said Carlo was good, so.
Okay. That's all we need to know. All right. We'll take a quick break. Craig Simpson, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, Hockey Night in Canada. He'll get the call tonight. Buffalo and Toronto. We'll get into that and more with Craig when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. It's the Real Kyper and Bourne Show, Leaf Hour edition. Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, yours truly. We're going to welcome in Craig Simpson in a few minutes. For those of you just joining us, news of the day: Joseph Woll joining the Toronto Maple Leafs once again off of a strange exit. 2 days in training camp?
No, before the first day, wasn't it?
Don't think he ever had a day.
You don't think he had a day?
No, I think it was like he was missing from day
Okay.
one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If you don't have anything else on that, I have a question for you.
I'm good.
Do you find it easier to be invested as a fan in a sport you're less familiar with? Like with hockey, you know how the sausage is made a little bit.
Yeah,
Do you find it easier to throw yourself into fandom
Yes.
of other sports
Yes.
as a result?
for sure.
That's because I'm totally the same way. Like
Yes.
would really love for the New York Islanders, the Leafs, one of those teams to win a Stanley Cup. But it's easier for me to root for the New York Jets. I know nothing about football. They're terrible. But like the Blue Jays, of course, just easier to throw yourself into it when you know less.
Okay, let's welcome in Craig Simpson, who's been a regular contributor to this show. He's getting ready for Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres. Simmer, how are you? You're in a tricky spot?
I'm doing great, guys. Yeah, it'll be an interesting night, won't it? With I think eyeballs going on a couple different screens all across Canada for sure. So exciting times, though.
Yeah, just before we get into the nuts and bolts of what we've seen for the first 7 games, the news out that Joseph Woll will rejoin the Toronto Maple Leafs, which we all believe is great news. But just a really kind of a strange scenario here, a little secretive. I know, we do on occasion get respect the privacy of a player. But your overall thoughts on how this has gone down and how it's affected the Leafs, both as the team and on Stolarz as well.
Yeah, I think the effect has been there for sure because suddenly you felt pretty confident. You had what you would think would be a good, healthy competition between two guys that like each other, that played off each other pretty well, and you thought, okay, we're in great shape. And I think from a coaching and management perspective, with all the gray areas, and I was listening to you guys before, it's one of those that clearly it's something that's not really comfortable to talk about, and it's none of our business. And that's probably the hardest thing to deal with in your jobs, even to talk about it, or any of the reporters. So I think that ambiguity makes it so difficult for anybody to really give an opinion about it and say, okay, what effect is it really having on the players? Because none of the players are able to talk about anything, or really, whether they don't want to talk about what's up with Joseph. How, the ignorance at times of not being able to talk about or know about what's happening makes it a lot more difficult for everybody involved. So I hope it's a positive step. As you guys were saying, Nick too, with the Players Association, if you're getting help or you're getting something, there's privacy issues. So I think we're all going to have to live with that, and it's something that's not really quite easy to analyze because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it certainly is a challenge. So other stuff that is easier to analyze, we'll move on to. There's a couple of things going on with the Leafs lineup heading into tonight. Team is 3-3-1, and they're going to shuffle up their lines. Top line of McMahon, Matthews, Nylander. Your thoughts on what they've done with their top group here?
Well, I wanted to circle back to what you were just talking about, Justin, about Nick Robertson. Last night, sitting with Scotty Lennox, our producer, I was spitballing and saying, you figured there was going to be some lineup changes. You have the unique opportunity of literally having, 2 games in 25 hours? So it's a short amount of time that you can focus on the same opponent, the same game plan basically for 2 straight games. And what I was saying is what you mentioned about Nick is, okay, if you take him out of the lineup, that's not helping Nick Robertson. That's not helping Brad Treliving. It's another message to other teams that, you're healthy scratching him again, can't trust him. And so what are you going to get for him? And I think Nick said, you're not going to get anything of value that's going to bring anything to the team. I said last night, and I was hoping maybe we'd see something like that. Obviously, we haven't. If I'm Craig Berube, I go to Nick yesterday and say, Nick, I know you feel I'm not playing enough. I know that you're frustrated here as a Leaf. I know that you're saying you're not getting the opportunities. And that's not a healthy environment to be in. That's not good for him to be around. And I would have used this opportunity of 25 hours and say, Nick, I'm going to give you a chance to show what you have, to show me what you can do in the top role spot. I'm going to play on the right side with Knies and Matthews. We have 2 games in 25 hours, 6 periods. I'm not going to take you off. So don't be looking over your shoulder. I'm not going to switch the line, John. I'm going to give you 2 days to basically show what you have, show what you're worth. Go in with the knowledge that I'm not going to play 9 minutes, and if I turn the puck over, I'm not going to be benched. And I said, if you can do that for the 25 hours that the Leafs have against the Sabres, and he fails miserably, you know what you got. And there's no excuses for Nick. And now for Brad Treliving, you might make the decision that, okay, this isn't going to work. I've got to find at least the cap space by moving him on. But you also might find the kid with some confidence, knowing that he's not going to be jerked off the line every time he makes a mistake, might find that he can play the game and he can play at that level. Maybe not for the whole season, but now at least you know something. You've got some kind of an answer on an asset that really you haven't utilized well at all. So I woke up this morning and it was all for naught. That was my thinking.
I know JB's giving you double thumbs up right now, and I don't mind it at all, especially, being a once upon a time undrafted player who's hung around third and fourth lines. I would be like, it would be like one of the greatest moments of my life saying that, you're going to go up there with the big boys. But that is totally high risk, high reward. So is Berube doing the opposite of what you just suggested by playing it ultra safe for Matthews right now and just giving him Nylander?
Well, I think there's no question that he's looking at his top player and top goal scorer and saying 2 empty netters, a couple of tap-ins. He's got 4 goals, so he's not feeling terrible about himself, but he's not a threat. I think I heard you guys talking yesterday about that. He doesn't look like that Matthews threat when he gets it on his puck. I think of that every game as I'm watching. I'm going, what am I seeing? Am I seeing a dangerous player every time he's in the offensive zone, or when the puck gets on his stick, like we have seen before? I said, there's going to be a good chance. Those aren't happening. So I don't mind the effect of, okay, you break he and Knies up. That's when something's not going well, you try to get a different look. I agree Bobby McMahon at least gives a different but similar element with the speed and the grit on that left side. But you're giving him a guy who's your best passer right now, and Nylander with 11 assists on the year. He's got, 4 straight with 2. So you are playing the percentages of saying, if my focus is to try to, shock the team a little bit, all 4 lines are basically a different look. So you've done that. But I also agree with what Justin has been saying, is that kind of herky-jerky coaching where you're pulling guys up and down lines when, you get an injury to Lawton, and all of a sudden 3 of the 4 lines change. There's been a lot of that in the early going, and that doesn't sort of bring calm, I don't think, to your players and into your dressing room. So if I'm looking to get one guy going in terms of Matthews, to me it is Nylander. He's been the best passer. For 9 straight years, Mitch Marner was assist leader for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, this is going to be a year where already I think you see who's going to set the stage, and that's going to be Nylander, so you try it. I still would have liked to gone back to my Robertson, though. I think that would have been a worthwhile 2-game test.
Yeah, well, that to me is what the regular season is for, is you find out what guys can do, so at the end of the year, hey, maybe Bobuchet can play second base. Maybe we should try him there. Just saying. All right. Sorry. So looking at the back end, 2 injuries. Chris Tanev gets a bonk, I think, is what happened there. And then Morgan Riley out. So Dakota Mermis and Philippe Myers come in. You know, I don't know why, Simmer, but like that doesn't strike fear into my heart. These guys are, they've played games in the NHL at this point.
Yeah, and I think you have some comfort. I listened to your analysis of Myers is a shot threat. He works hard. Like you're not looking at guys that are going to be intimidated of the situation or like, oh my God, this is my first NHL game. I'm afraid to make a play. In some instances with guys like Myers, maybe he's not afraid enough to make a play at times, which gets him in trouble. But at least you know you're going to get effort, you're going to get energy. And you guys have both seen it enough in the course of your playing careers. Hey, when you get a lesser lineup at times, it snaps everybody into place and says, okay, we got to be tight tonight. Like we got to work hard. We got to protect our back end. We've got to be a little bit better in our defensive zone. I think it's always interesting when sometimes on paper you look at the team and you go, oh man, that's going to be a challenge tonight. And your team plays better for it. And that might be what, a D-core that has been a little leaky lately. I heard them talking about Brandon Carlo is supposed to be a stay-at-home, reliable guy. He's making more mistakes than, say, a Simone Benoit is. And that's not a healthy situation to be in. Maybe a game like tonight where you're missing, 2 important guys on the back end snaps everybody into the details of their game.
You're listening to Craig Simpson, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, analyst for Hockey Night in Canada, and the Leafs versus Buffalo tonight on Sportsnet Ontario. Justin and I will be there right along with you, Craig, and our dozen other fans who aren't watching the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
We're the warm-up, pal.
We're the warm-up.
We'll watch the first.
So, Craig, in terms of a catchphrase we've heard since the beginning of the season for the Leafs is, chemistry and giving it time for the chemistry, the new faces. Is 7 enough to stop the leaning on chemistry here and just now start focusing on, hey, play better, play harder?
Yeah. I think it's what are the details of your game? What's been missing? What's been lacking? I listened to you guys after the last game against Jersey, and on the heels of a really tough loss against Seattle in overtime, you go, where's the fire and the energy? I don't care who you are, whether you're the best player playing 25 minutes or the fourth line guy playing 9. It's attitude and energy and body language. And when you're not playing well and your game isn't sharp, all those things look on the negative side, and you can see it and you can feel it a little bit. Even watching it, you go, where's the tempo? They're not on the puck. They're not first to the puck. You're not winning the battle. So I do think there's an inherent time frame when you have new bodies to get that feel that they belong. Look at Scott Laughton last year. He was an important guy in the Philly locker room and, a confident veteran guy going into a new team that all of a sudden he goes, I don't have that same role. It takes a while to fit in. It takes a while to be the same player. But I think now it's all about attitude and energy. And if you're a new guy that's not playing a big role right now, you can come in and be really positive energy with your body language and the way you're going to play the game.
Boy, I hope the Leafs bring the attitude and energy that you just brought on this segment today for us, pal.
Great
Thanks for
stuff,
doing this.
Simmer.
All right, guys, take care.
All right.
And good luck, Jays, tonight.
There you go.
All right.
Craig Simpson, everybody, calling the game tonight for us
We're lucky
on
to have
Sportsnet Ontario. Okay.
Robertson on the top line. I love that idea.
Why not? It's not illegal.
They've just never done it.
And I don't think Nick's ever gone up to Craig and said, pleasure to meet you, and shook his hand like he did me. So, and Craig still, is pushing hard for Nick Robertson. I love that. I liked it. I have no problem with it. And the biggest thing he said is sometimes when you've got an underwhelming lineup with injuries and whatnot, like boys rise. Guys can play out of their element for a little bit and create a us against the world mentality.
like I admit that my experience is mostly in the American Hockey League versus the NHL. But, when I was with the Marlies and everyone was up with the 2015-16 Leafs because they were so bad, we had a bunch of ECHL guys in the Marlies, 6 at a time, and could not be beat. Just everyone working so hard, just playing their hearts out for an opportunity. And I think it's okay to have a couple of guys working hard for a spot above maybe where they normally would.
Yeah. What are you looking at me for? I got nothing.
Kip's daydreaming. What's going on?
not.
What are you
I'm
on? What are
just,
you on right now?
There's got to be a
Jason.
reason why they have not given up on Nick Robertson, right?
And that's why they should be like, all right, we'll give you 2 games against the 20th best team in the league and see what you can do with good players. All right, boys. 5 minutes left in the show. Let's talk about the World Series.
Was there a trade? Did Vancouver trade for centerman?
Lucas Reichel.
For a 4th-round pick.
I don't know. Is he a centerman?
How high of a pick was Reichel? That's fine.
Very high pick. He topped out, I think he had 22 points last year. This year he's got 2 goals, 2 assists in 7 games.
And the best Chicago could get is a 4th rounder.
It doesn't help Nick Robertson's case.
It gives you some idea of
Reichel's 23.
not a great market out there.
6 foot, 170. So, yeah, I mean, he's a guy with upside who just a couple of years ago had 20 goals and 55 points in the American League.
Did they not waive him this year too?
I don't know
Reichel?
about that. Oh,
Maybe not.
no, he's a pretty big name. They had hopes for him.
Oh, maybe.
A 4th is a definite disappointing and a great bet by the Canucks just to see.
Well,
Fourth
they
rounder.
need. I mean, they're banged up.
And
so.
also 4th rounders are and Reichel's a guy who's played in the league.
Yep.
Like to get a guy who's in the league for a 4th rounder, if you could do that every time, you should do it.
Mid. Who said that?
That was you.
Yeah.
So what do you honestly expect to happen for the Leafs this weekend? Because I really have no feel of what they're going to do.
I think that the Leafs are going to win 2 hockey.
It has to be the weekend when they win both games.
I think they're going to win if they don't.
This marks the 9th time that the
Worrisome.
Maple Leafs and Sabres will meet in a home-and-home set in consecutive days, and the first since November 29th, 30th, 2019. The only instances where the team won both games in that scenario was the 30th and 31st of 1998, and 19th, 20th of December in 1970. So teams don't sweep it a whole lot in that scenario.
Yeah, it's uncommon.
And the Maple Leafs are 8-1 with 0 ties on dates that coincide with Blue Jays playing a World Series game.
What? Also, Anthony Stolar's last game against Buffalo, they didn't score on him. Game before that, they didn't score on him. Game before that, they didn't score on him.
3 straight shutouts.
That's the one that
I tried not to say the word.
That's the one that gave him that built a 926 save percentage all year.
Built it on the backs of the poor
Of the Buffalo
hapless Sabres.
Sabres.
They're not hapless anymore. Josh Doan, good hockey player.
And Tavares, 2 goals away from 500. Boys haven't mentioned it once this year. So getting close to a pretty big milestone.
Only 48 players in NHL history have ever done that. 500 NHL goals.
But a lot of them didn't have 32 teams in the league, and most of them suck.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
That's
kidding.
not what you're really going to
I'm
say.
just kidding.
Springer,
I'm just kidding.
Schneider, Guerrero, Bichette, Kirk, Barshow,
Okay.
Clement, Straw,
Hey,
Jimenez.
give me some
Jays.
scores. Give me some
Let's
scores.
Play ball.
Give me some scores tonight out of
Jays
your Toronto.
Blue Jays win 7-5 tonight.
I got a high-scoring affair today.
Blue Jays.
8-7.
Yeah.
Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta give it to the Jays.
Let's play.
You gotta score some
Keep going.
runs.
They're not the only Toronto sports team
No,
playing.
I think Leafs win 5-1.
5-1?
Yeah.
You think
Going
it's that
away.
easy?
Yeah.
I don't think Buffalo rolls over for
I don't
5-1.
I think it's an OT win, 4-3.
4-3.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll be streaming the game.
Nick
at-
Robertson,
at,
OT winner. Oh,
you
he's
know,
out tonight.
Thanks to
Cowan.
Sportsnet Plus, I'll be streaming the Leafs game at the World Series game.
All right.
I gotta tell you,
Um,
Sportsnet Plus is wonderful. I'm not
Fantastic.
just saying that. It's very useful.
Our thanks to Craig Simpson, who just joined us, and Jason Bukala, and no Doug McLean. You want to tell everybody what Doug was doing?
Let me quickly. Do you remember it offhand? I
Yeah,
forget.
his wife Jill
Oh, yeah.
booked a tour to see the wild horses in the Outer Banks. That's what you said.
That reads like a Mad
For
Libs.
those of you that were hoping Doug would show up today on a Friday, hey, send him a note, send him a text.
A text?
Well, a tweet.
sure.
A tweet.
Sure.
And ask him how the wild horses were.
What a guy.
Animal. I love the man.
Come on, Jays.
Big night
Watch the Leafs
tonight.
first.
Baseball, hockey, yours to choose. You know where to find them, though. Right here on Sportsnet. Have a great weekend, everybody.